that you have a sense of my sort of bona fide credentials in this space. I've spent most of my career so far working in architecture pretty exclusively. I started working at OMA in Rotterdam about 10 years ago, and kind of working in the height of the kind of like Rem Koolhaas period, and now he's started to sort of sail into the sunset. But in the time after that, worked with SOM for about 8 years, overseeing all of their global communications, and have been at Cameron now for about 4 years, where I oversee a portfolio of clients that is really quite wide-ranging, but largely sits in the built environment and kind of knits across a universe of architects, real estate developers, hotels, and so on. And so broadly speaking, really understand the kind of media marketing, communications, PR landscape for the architecture industry, which when I first started doing it was a kind of a nascent and growing industry, but not a particularly big one. And so I've had the pleasure of being sort of working professionally through a period where there's been a huge amount of growth and a lot of really kind of thoughtful consideration for the way architects market themselves. And so it's really great to be here. And Darren is right that I gave this talk at the AIA convention, which was in Washington, D.C. a few years ago, talking about this kind of modern landscape of how architects present themselves and how marketing can be done really at all scales. But actually, interestingly, in their cases as big firms, their reputations precede them, and in a lot of cases can be harder to manage than a small firm who has the opportunity to really chart their own destiny and create a message and sort of tell a story that is very personal, but also really manageable. And I think that's a really crucial piece of why we're here.